That shit is so fucking stupid.
All right. We are here. We are live. We are doing it. I know this is the show that a lot of people have been interested in seeing. So we made it this far, guys. So we're going to be as two live creatures say, as nasty and filthy as you want to be.
Yep.
Back in the day. Welcome, everybody. What's going down, Lady Muse? How you doing? Yeah, you would be in early for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
She's
Welcome.
on time. She definitely saw the topic. It was like, yo, we definitely got. Hey, Ching, how you doing? Ching, how you feeling? What's going on? Welcome everybody to another episode of Change Your Mind, Change Your Thinking. I am your host, Troy Skinner. Next to me is my amazing, phenomenal co-host.
That was badly timed on purpose. What's up? Antonio Dean.
Yes, sir. The one and only, the man with the plan. Absolutely. So, guys, we are going to have a great show tonight. I actually wanted to start off the night with a well-known song, but, you know, we get these copyright strikes and stuff like that, so we couldn't do that. But we're definitely going to be talking about the song because it's one of my favorite songs of all time. But, hey, Janessa, what's going on? Okay, yeah, no doubt. It's okay, Claudia. Okay, Claudia.
Rick James, just Rick James.
She said it's Claudia.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. So, okay, we're gonna get started right away. I know a lot of you guys are wondering about what we are wearing. We're matching.
Sir.
We have these amazing sweatshirts. I love free stuff, but I like things that look good, especially when they look good on me. And especially when they're made to show the love. If you could see what's going on, this brother here.
I got hella shit in the way right now, you know.
No doubt. This is a big shout out to Nikki. The company is called Dope by Nicole.
Yes, sir.
And she has her own clothing company. She also writes books. What else does she do?
What is it? Paints.
Oh, yes, she
paints.
paints.
There's a few different pages.
Okay.
But the main one she wanted to focus on is Dope by Nicole.
Okay.
On Instagram, at Dope by Nicole, spelled very regular, not on the biggest shit. And then her website is also Dope by Nicole. She's a sponsor.
Yes.
Of the Image Max Studios, and then also
a good friend of
a really good friend of the show, man.
Yes.
She blessed us with this beautiful, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Beautiful swag.
Look at this. And basically, what it says is...
distributor of positive energy.
Yes, that's what DOPE stands for. D-O-P-E.
Look,
distributor of positive
I showed up
energy.
late. They popped these out, and I said, man, I got to switch my sweater.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, now my hat don't match, but listen,
Well,
we got to support our people, man.
We needed a little bit of that contrast, and it kind of works for me. And so definitely we want to give her a major shout out for this. She's been a very big contributor to Image Max and also to Change Your Mind, Change Your Thinking. If you can see, she's got the little symbols here. It's all about energy. If you know anything about the energy symbol, that's what that is. Energy symbol. And then on the back, and then on the bottom, it's Change Your Mind, Change Your Thinking. How cool is that? Change CMCT. Like, she put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah.
And then on the back, it's our name.
We get that in the camera. Is the camera sitting
No, I don't think the
Yeah,
camera-
we ain't got enough space to turn around and shit back there. But goddamn it, know that it's back there.
It's all good. So yes, we're rocking purple and gold, but see, purple and gold is on the spectrum of colors that work well together. Correct. Okay, so no, we're not Q-Dogs. Neither one of us is pledged in a fraternity. I had no desire. Will never be a part of a fraternity. I have lots of friends who were part of fraternities. They did a lot of things in order to be able to stay in that fraternity. And I've always been more of a maverick. You know, I'm not gonna do those things just to be a part of something. But hey, much respect and love to anybody that is in a frat. I have very good friends that are in frats, and but you know what? If I did pledge, it would have probably had been, you know, Q. It would have been Q. It would have been Omega for sure.
Let me tell you something. I seen School Days, and I was like, these niggas is dancing with brooms and pots and pans and all of this shit. So ever since then, I didn't give a fuck about fraternities.
What do you think? You think E would have been a Kappa? You would have definitely been a Kappa. Janessa, would you have did Delta? I think Janessa would probably been Delta. Daphne would probably have been AKA.
Well, I have to do I say I don't know shit about fraternities.
Right.
I'm lying more. So I just actually don't care. But we should do a show one of these days, man.
Yeah, we'll
talk
have,
about the history.
Well, yeah, absolutely, and then we'll have people on as well because going into January, guys,
what I gotta say about the history.
Oh yeah, I know. Going into January, guys, we will be having guests on our show. So we're in the next 2 weeks. We're going to be working on. Lady Muse said, "Stomp the yard." So, Lane, would you have been Delta or AKA? But definitely E would have been a Kappa. His pretty ass. He would have been a Kappa for sure.
And that's exactly what they would have said. His pretty ass.
He would have had the cane. He would have been a Kappa. He would have been a noob for sure. Guys, so yeah, we're having a lot of fun. We have a special show at the end of the year that we're going to be, a lot of people are going to be doing the holidays and stuff. You're dealing with two men who don't really celebrate holidays, so we'll be here for you, and we'll be doing our shows. We appreciate anybody and everyone, just like receiving these amazing sweatshirts from Nikki. It's just always
at Dope by Nicole.
At Dope by Nicole. Thank you. If you any of you other guys who are watching, you want to support us, you want to send stuff in.
Sweater, you know
definitely. We don't celebrate Christmas, but we accept gifts. So
I take some more money.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, don't spend no money. Send it to us. Tip us and help us keep these hot ass lights on.
Man. The lights is yellow today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're starting to flicker. Ain't nobody tipped yet. You know what I'm saying?
Lady Muse said they want her to be a Delta or Alpha or AKA so bad. She said, not happening. Yeah, I don't blame you, sweetie. The stuff that, to cross them burning sands, man. So listen, today's topic.
Well, really quick, before we do that.
Okay.
I came across something the other night.
Okay.
And I did some research.
Now,
I don't celebrate holidays or none of that bullshit.
Okay.
Because it's too expensive. But
main reason.
I got this for you.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, look at hey, and how
I one of the last two copies.
Well, and how ironic it was because listen, what he got me is Joe Louis and his discussion in regards to his experience with Bruce Lee, which is very big for me because we live in a time now where people
are in disbelief. Yes. They're not even in disbelief. They're just absolutely disrespectful.
Yeah, of the legends of people who came before us. I was watching a clip. My girl Lisa Holly sent me a clip on Instagram where the celebrities were talking about the top 5 pop stars. And Michael Jackson, of course, was number 1. And then dude, I can't remember his name, he used to be on SNL, he goes, Prince. And it didn't come up at all. So you had Britney Spears, Madonna, Elvis, and no Prince. And everybody was shocked by that. Such disrespect. And he kept saying, blasphemy. That's blasphemous. Because Prince definitely was a pop star. He was an artist as well.
Kind of bridged the gap, actually.
This is so awesome. He got me a DVD. Man, thank you for this. This is any gift that anybody gets me. I'm always very appreciative of because you don't have to do anything for anybody, and so this is not a plug or anything. It's just I'm really excited that he got me this. And if you're interested in it,
it's on Amazon. It's like $20 or something like that. They're really cheap.
Yeah, and it's basically Joe Louis Fighting Systems, what Bruce Lee taught me. You see, so for anybody out there that believes that Bruce Lee wasn't a real fighter and he didn't really teach anybody.
He had credibility from all of the guys who were in tournaments.
And they fought with no gear.
They had reverence for that man.
Yes.
Absolute reverence for him.
Yes. Just as I do for this man next to me. I know he's very, very astute at what he knows. And so to get me that, man, thank you so much for this. I appreciate this. This will be treasured. It'll be in my collection of DVDs and Blu-rays that I don't let anybody borrow, especially students because they don't bring them back. I had to fight to get stuff back from Melvin.
Melvin's a different case.
But shout out to Melvin.
Yeah, we love you, Melvin. Thanks for setting up the
seminar. Yeah, we had a seminar this Sunday for the Richmond County teachers. and we had a turnout. We can just say that.
Yeah, turnout.
Yeah. And I'm very appreciative of anyone that wants to stand and listen to us teach. We can definitely do that to your location. We're available for self-defense instruction and or seminars, rape prevention, home invasion, anything like that. We have different rates that we charge.
And we don't even eat lobster when you fly us out.
No, don't need to. Don't need to eat any lobster. Just make sure you get us good flights and a nice hotel room a piece, yeah, to be able to come out and teach. But we'll get more into that, obviously, going into the new year, because there's a lot of things that we definitely want to do. This man is currently teaching every Thursday. He teaches the children at the academy. It's a very gracious thing to do. So, thank you. Thank you. I mean, I'm just getting blessed tonight. This is... I'm probably going to sleep early tonight because listen, the reason why is because you don't want your night, you don't want nothing to come bad.
Right.
So if you sleep early,
let me go ahead, let me turn it in early, make sure,
Yeah, man. So listen, guys, tonight's topic is about love and lust, or lust and love, sex.
Did you set this up?
Yes, I did.
Good.
Oh, no, not that.
Damn it.
But you're going to have to knock that out real quick because I came in here thinking about love and lust.
Well, as you give the monologue on love and lust,
Yes,
I'll
sir.
be looking up the definitions.
Yes, sir. Okay, so we're going to have those definitions. So I'm glad you guys are tuning in with us tonight because you could be anywhere else, but you're here with us. Thank you for everybody coming on in. I know a lot of you are out there shopping and getting ready for the holidays and stuff like that. If you're not able to engage with us, which is conversation, leaving comments and stuff like that, or coming in on the chat and being able to converse with us, just follow along because you're going to learn a lot tonight. This is a topic that everybody thinks about all the time. Now, there's a line in Computer Blue at the opening of the song that Prince and the Revolution made, where Wendy and Lisa in the concert, where they say love and lust, they both have 4 letters, but they're entirely different words. When you're looking at love and lust, you have to gauge yourself in all relationships that you have when you have that type of intimacy with someone. Is it love or is it lust that we have? Because I think people confuse the two.
Correct.
Right? And that in itself can cause people to do crazy things. If you're...
Shoot at each other, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
Steal from each other.
Yeah.
Kidnap the kids.
Yeah. Because of that. Like I've met people who were married and they hated each other, but even after the divorce, they would still get together because the sex was so good between each other.
That's passion.
That's passion. That's on some other level right there. What's going on, Sasmoot? So what does it mean? Because you have 3 different forms of love. You have phileo love, which is brotherly love. You have eros, E-R-O-S, which is sexual love. And then you have agape, A-G-A-P-E, which is godly love. And all 3 of those things are specific in what they are. Okay, you can have all 3 in a relationship. You can be in love with someone who you're sexual with and have a godly type of intimacy with. That's usually marriage. You know what I mean? That type of thing where you love someone so much, it's on the brotherly love. But when you say brotherly, it's not just male to male. Brotherly means the human.
It's a connection.
Yes, the human connection. Eros is sexual. So obviously, if you're married, you're having sex with that person you're married with. And then agape is the love that blankets all of that if it's a marriage or if it's a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship or whatever, So when we look at love, we're going to that's dope. Yeah,
They just joined. So I had to go ahead and show them.
Yeah.
We had to swap you out, baby. But you know what I'm saying. Thanks for joining in.
We're waiting on you to send another one so we can wear them.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and promote you on another one of the shows, man. Go ahead and hook us up with some merch, and we got you.
Because that sweatshirt is fly. I saw it as soon as he walked in, and I was just like, yeah, you gotta lay me.
Nearly fell out of his chair.
No doubt. So, okay, the definition of love, my brother.
Well, let's talk about that. Love is an intense feeling of deep affection, a great interest and pleasure in something. The verb form, to feel deep affection for someone, to like or enjoy very much. Now we're going to go over to the Merriam-Webster dictionary really quick. Love, a strong affection for another arising out of kinship or personal ties. Attraction based on sexual desire. Affection and tenderness felt by lovers. Affection based on admiration, benevolence, or common interest. An assurance of affection. Warm attachment, enthusiasm, or devotion. The object of attachment, devotion, or admiration. A beloved person, darling, often used as a term of endearment. Unselfish, loyal, and benevolent, concern for the good of another, such as the fatherly concern of God for humankind, brotherly concern for others, a person's adoration of God. The sexual embrace, copulation. You know what I'm saying? I think that's good there.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, did you do the wiki yet?
Nah.
No, okay, let's
see.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, love encompasses a range of strong and positive emotional and mental states, from the most sublime virtue of good habit, the deepest interpersonal affection, to the simplest pleasure. An example of this range of meanings is that the love of a mother differs from a love of a spouse, which differs from the love for food. Most commonly, love refers to a feeling of strong attraction and emotional attachment. Love is considered to be both positive and negative, with its virtue representing human kindness, compassion, and affection as the unselfish, loyal, and benevolent concern for the good of another, and its vice representing human moral flaw akin to vanity, selfishness, amour propre,
that was right.
Sure, and egotism, as potentially leading people into a type of mania, obsessiveness, or codependency. Shooting at each other, you know what I'm saying?
Taking a ride.
It may also describe compassionate and affectionate actions towards other humans, oneself, or animals. In its various forms, love acts as a major facilitator of interpersonal relationships and, owing to its central psychological importance, is one of the most common themes in the creative arts. Love has been postulated to be a function that keeps human beings together against menaces and to facilitate the continuation of the species.
Yeah, that's profound and deep. It seems like Wiki went deep with it.
We might be able to, let's come back and kind of go through the Greek philosophers who stole from Kemet and turned it into Egypt.
Of course.
That's a whole nother,
of course.
You know, that's a whole nother thing. We ain't gonna do that tonight.
But we
can come back and kind of, that's what we can come back and kind of bounce off of that as the show goes on.
Sure. So we have a deep, profound understanding of love.
Yes.
3 different definitions. We're going to work on love first before we go to lust, because we want to make sure we have an understanding of love.
Yes.
Now, I always say, what does love translate to? And I always look at it as sacrifice. Love is sacrifice. Okay. Because the thing is that the love, the feeling of love, that transpires over time. That comes and goes. Like, you can fall in love with someone. Right?
Correct.
Now, that falling in love can become a problem, because I've always said it. Once I learned and I understood, you ladies, I got to stop making these men fall in love with you.
And vice versa.
Right. Well, yeah, and these guys out there who know that they can do that, you know, because that's a power that some people embrace. They know, I can make her fall in love with me. Got to stop that, because it's a very combustible form of a chemical, in a sense. And what I've learned is that when you truly love someone and sacrifice, if you know you can't give that person what they're looking for in a relationship, then you should be sacrificial enough to not do it, to not be there. And so it always goes back to saying we have to always make sure we have accountability for ourselves. Right?
Emotional responsibility to be more, more specific about it. Especially when it concerns loving, being in love, the things that you attract there, man, you got to be absolutely responsible with how it is that you interact with others.
Yeah, and for me, it's just always wild to see people stay together just because the sex is good. Like,
wild in what way?
Well,
like, it's astonishing, or it's a phenomenon, or what exactly do you mean?
That's a good question, because I've never been that type of person where I got to stay because the sex is good. I've never been that type of person.
So you're saying, considering the other circumstances that may be present,
yeah,
like maybe they beating the hell out of each other, but the sex is cool.
Yeah, you know, Tina Turner said one time in a Rolling Stone magazine, I'll never forget this when I read it. She said, you know, there was nothing good about Ike. The only good thing about him was that he had a big dick.
Well, you know.
And I was just like, they printed this? And it's, so when you hear stuff like that and you think about people who stay with each other for those specific sexual reasons,
Right.
it's like, you know, would we be right to hold them accountable for
for all that they
incur
based on that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It still falls within the realm of accountability.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what happens to you based on your decisions, that is you. It's on you.
How many of you out there are actually dealing with that? You know, you're in a relationship, you know that the relationship is no good for you. You're not building, because to me, a relationship is all about building.
Y'all only eating pork, but the sex is cool. You know?
Yeah, on an air mattress, but hey, we got love. But that love is confused with sex, right? Because once we break down,
I'm gonna just I'll add it into the queue.
Sure.
Oh, God damn it. My bad. I'm just adding it to the queue.
Yeah. No, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, the honesty of it, because I think we live in a society, America is very, as much as there's sex on television, like you look at the highest rated shows in the black community, P-Valley is like one of the top shows. P-Valley, a lot of the Tyler Perry stuff that where when I was a kid, that stuff, you would have to look at it through a blurry HBO signal in order to see something. Or you would have to look at it in a magazine or 42nd Street, you go and buy a Betamax and some VHS. That's how I was introduced to porn. One of my friends, I'll never forget this, back in Brooklyn, he brought a VHS. And when you would buy these VHSs back then, now, obviously this is before a lot of y'all time because VHS ain't even around. But when you would buy a VHS, they would give you several movies. And it wasn't regular movies, it was porn movies. And one day we go over there. Wow, look at that picture. One day we go over there and we go over there and it was him and two other guys, and me and this other cat, we go over, he was like, yo, I got this new VHS. Y'all need to come and watch it.
Y'all got to come to the crib.
We go over there, man, and he probably had 5 pornos. He had like Debbie Does Dallas. He had Beyond the Green Door, Deep Throat. Man, he was stocked up, and in your mind, there's a whole bunch of other cats sitting there, and obviously we all.
I was getting warned about shit like that when I was growing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, don't pop up. Your friends trying to invite you to come through to watch some shit or whatever. Oh. Don't go.
Yeah. Well, nothing went down. Well, it wasn't like that type of party or anything. There was always a mutual respect in regards to that. But it was a thing of, like, we're sitting there watching these movies and young cats, man.
Niggas stay on your side of the car.
Yeah. Nobody whipped anything out and went to work or nothing. To me, it was like, wow, this is it. This is it. Even though I literally lost my virginity at 9 years old. It's different when you're seeing these types of visuals. You know what I mean? And you're seeing this stuff and you're like, what? And so that was my experience to porn, and it's a downward spiral from that point on. It is a rabbit hole that you cannot get out of for a long time. Now, that would bring me to talking about the addiction of porn. Do you believe in an addiction of porn or addiction of sex? Because I don't believe in that.
I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
I think that it's akin to chasing a high of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's natural.
Mm-hmm.
It is. We as humans, and I say this all the time, we're gonna have this, or you'll hear this argument from me very often, but the arrogance of mankind, of the human being, to think that they can set themselves apart from the primal world We think that we're above it.
Mm-hmm.
We think that we're smarter than nature itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I disagree.
Mm-hmm.
So no, there is no addiction.
Yeah,
It's natural.
Yeah, I think some people, primarily because of the things that they were introduced to, maybe at a young age, and or who we are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like some of us are empaths, some of us are skeptics, but by nature, you know what I mean. Some of us we are very risable and emotional by nature, and I think when it comes to sex, some of us are more connected with that activity. You know, we're either givers or we're takers or we're, you know, whatever. We're extremists, you know? And so I believe that a person that indulges in sex and feels like, okay, I really like this and this is unusual because society tells you it's unusual.
Correct.
Maybe you were raised in the church, or maybe you watch too many talk shows where they're saying that's a problem, that's a problem. You're ill-equipped in understanding that maybe you're a person with a high sex drive. Maybe you're a person who has a very strong libido, and instead of beating yourself up about it, embrace it
and see how you can use that energy.
Yeah, man, and it's like, okay, so finding a partner who is on that level is the smartest aspect than just saying, oh, I have a sexual addiction because someone points at you and says that. You know what I mean? Like, I think some guys and women will get with a partner, you know, the phrase for a woman is, oh, she's a nympho.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She don't get enough. And it's like, no, maybe she enjoys pleasing, which is what turns her on. You see?
Well, because that's what she's associated with love and happiness in her mind.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's get on that because we're still
It's psychological.
We're still on the love aspect. Why do people confuse love with sex? What do you think?
Well, we got to know what sex is.
Okay, boom, let's go.
So to that,
Hope you guys
sexual
are enjoying
intercourse.
this. Yeah.
Sexual contact between individuals involving penetration, especially the insertion of a man's erect penis into a woman's vagina, typically culminating in orgasm and the ejaculation of semen. You know what I'm saying? Typically. You know, we all have our challenges. So let's see. Sexual intercourse from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Heterosexual intercourse involving penetration of the vagina by the penis. Coitus. Intercourse, such as anal or oral intercourse that does not involve penetration of the vagina by the penis. And that is where they ended.
Okay.
They kept it short and sweet, baby. They put commerce on there as a synonym. That's funny.
So President Clinton was a damn liar when he said, I did not have sexual intercourse.
Well, as a president, it very well could have been commerce.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's see. Sexual intercourse on Wikipedia. Sexual intercourse or coitus or copulation is a sexual activity typically involving the insertion and thrusting of the penis into the vagina for sexual pleasure or reproduction. This is also known as vaginal intercourse or vaginal sex. Other forms of penetrative sexual intercourse include anal sex, penetration of the anus by the penis, oral sex, penetration of the mouth by the penis, or oral penetration of the female genitalia. Fingering, sexual penetration by the fingers and penetration by use of the dildo, especially a strap-on. These activities involve physical intimacy between two or more individuals and are usually used among humans solely for physical or emotional pleasure and can contribute to human bonding.
Okay. And by the way, today and nowadays, like that's becoming very popular, the strap-on dildo. They call it pegging.
That's for niggas, man. That's a different type of nigga right
there.
They out
there pegging these dudes, and these dudes, they getting into it, man. There was a guy I was watching an interview the other day. He was on Instagram talking about getting pegged. And
nah, baby.
The dude,
it's gay. I don't give a fuck about it. It doesn't matter. That is because it's with a female or whatever the fuck.
Getting pegged, man.
A man. Historically, primally. Spiritually is not to be penetrated.
He's getting pegged, getting stuffed. So yeah, that's what's going on nowadays in the black community a lot.
I know that
it's been in the
our people have decided to join in on a lot of shenanigans and tomfoolery.
They listen. It's all about. It came out today about the Golden Globes, and people were mad because it was like there's not enough black people in it. It's like. Why do y'all want to be them?
We don't need them to tell us how good we're doing.
Yeah. Look, when I was a kid, man, I say by the age of 16, we doing oral sex on a woman was unheard of. You did that. You was a true freak as a man.
I was 14. That was the first thing. Well, before 14, but that was, being taken advantage of. But when it was my choice, my cousin, I ain't gonna say his name, but he was like, nigga, this is what you gotta focus on.
Right.
God damn it, I knew the spot ever since then.
Well, listen, the thing is that it was a different time. Like, especially as a community, Black people have suffered in a lack of knowledge in so many different capacities. Like, even knowing the difference between love and lust, and the difference between sex and love. And
our intimacy as a community in general has been damaged.
Yes. Yeah, since slavery, since...
I'm gonna go ahead and pull intimacy up.
Okay, yeah, you guys are getting a real... Hey, Scott, what's up, man? You guys are getting a real education, if not, conversation on this thing. Hopefully some of you guys will have some clarity in knowing some of these things, because, the reason why a lot of relationships are so damaging is because people are together and they actually don't know why. So that's part of that,
Disambiguation. That's what I'm talking about.
One of the best episodes of Oprah that I ever saw, and I wasn't really a big fan of hers, and still to this day I'm not.
Likewise.
But she had an episode where she had fathers with their daughters, and they were on there talking about how to get your daughter to not feel like she needs pleasure from a young man. Because they basically had these girls on there who were having sex at very early ages, 13, 14. And part of it was there was a good psychiatrist on there who, I don't really count on a lot of what these guys say sometimes. But this one guy, he's like, you have to have these very frank and open conversations with your daughter, because her friends are. And they're ill-equipped to help her understand how she can make the mistakes that she make. And he was very big on the fathers helping their daughters. Being single fathers, they had no choice but helping their daughters to understand that they don't need a boy to pleasure themselves. So that conversation, I think it was one of the best shows she ever had, and I've been looking forward to pass it on to people, because I think
you'll probably find that.
Certain things are timeless. But go ahead, brother. Intimacy,
close familiarity or friendship, closeness, a private, cozy atmosphere. An intimate act, especially sexual intercourse, an intimate remark. They're not really giving. Closeness of observation or knowledge of a subject. Kinda. Let's see what else they got. Intimacy, the state of being intimate. Something of a personal or private nature. Okay, we getting closer. And that's where they ended.
I bet you Wiki's going to really
Let's look at intimate. Yeah, I think Wikipedia is the one that's going to kind of blow it up. Intimate. Marked by a warm friendship developing through long association, suggesting informal warmth or privacy, engaged in, involving, or marked by sex or sexual relations, of a very personal or private nature, marked by very close association, contact, or familiarity, intrinsic, essential, belonging to or characterizing one's deepest nature. There we go. I like that. I didn't know it could be used as a noun. That's actually cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still kind of a adjective, but whatever. Let's look at Wikipedia.
Wiki about to go in.
Let's see. Intimacy refers to an intimate relationship between two people or among three or more people. Intimacy may also refer to physical intimacy, emotional intimacy. So they Wikipedia has broken it down rather than giving us one general. So I'll open those really quick. Let's see. Intimacy redirects here, blah, blah, blah. An intimate relationship is an interpersonal relationship that involves physical or emotional intimacy. Although an intimate relationship is commonly a sexual relationship, it may also be a non-sexual relationship involving family, friends, or acquaintances. Emotional intimacy involves feelings of liking or loving one or more people and may result in physical intimacy. Physical intimacy is characterized by romantic, love, sexual activity, or other passionate attachment. These relationships play a central role in the overall human experience. Humans have a general desire to belong and to love, which is usually satisfied within an intimate relationship. Such relationships allow a social network for people to form strong emotional attachments.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, so we have an in-depth understanding of intimacy, of sex, and of love. So how does all this work together? Because if you're in a relationship with someone, you know how you have friends who become lovers, you have people who get married, you have boyfriend, girlfriend circumstances, you have jump offs, side pieces. Now, you know, we as a community, black people have these great terminology.
Entanglements, you know what I'm saying?
Entanglements, you know. And nowadays, you know, people are talking about sexual fluidity, different things that people do sexually that have people kind of like boggled. Like, okay, so I've always been one where labels can become confusion, you know.
Labels can become stressors.
Yeah, very much so, bro. And I think that's where a lot of confusion is up because, you know,
because then it puts expectations
Yeah.
on what you're already involved in.
It's kind of like, you know, you've been in that relationship with, what are we? Well, what are we?
Well, it's been 10 years and we've been cool, but now because we said that we going together or we went and got a marriage certificate, now we're stressed out at whatever the reality or circumstance of marriage is supposed to be, but it's been cool the whole 10 years anyway.
Yeah, that pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But is that something that's created because of the sex that's involved? Because friends can be friends for years and have fallouts and disconnections, get back and be friends again. And but it's one of those things that when sex is involved, right? And you say, okay, well, I love this person. We had sex, but everything changed. You've heard that before.
Yeah.
Everything changed because we had sex. And it's like, well, what changed?
Well, that's because people have expectations that they don't admit out loud.
Oh.
That's what that is.
Say it again, because that's very deep.
Typically, once people have sex together, there are expectations that are unspoken. And they typically do not acknowledge or admit them out loud to one another. So then it becomes, well, I figured you would. Well, bitch, you didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, you didn't tell me. What the fuck else was I supposed to?
Right.
You know, we're not psychics, us humans.
Oh, okay.
Or we're not mind readers, us humans.
Okay, Lady Muse said, don't fight me on this because I know y'all like to tussle, but a lot of people are secretly sadists.
Well, it's not even secret. That's a deep psychological thing based on whatever it is that we go through in life. You know, getting into adulthood and getting into even figuring out who you are sexually and socially, all of those different things.
So maybe Lady
come
Muse
out in so
wants
many
a little
different
fight.
ways.
She wants a little fight since she's talking.
Well, look, listen. Whatever with that. I'm saying just people in general, you know, especially the black community, man. We love to talk shit to each other.
Yeah.
You know, we love the dark jokes and all of those things, but it stems from somewhere.
Yeah.
So the sadism therein is it's deeply embedded for many reasons that we probably do not have time to talk about tonight because we already 40 minutes in.
I know. It's such a good topic. We'll definitely have a
we'll have to
recap
come back to that.
Yeah, but yeah, no, Lay, I think you're right. I think it's not even a secret thing anymore because if a dude is telling his boy, yeah, I was choking the shit out of her, I was pulling her hair, that's a form of
sadism.
Yeah, it's a form of sadism. It's pain and pleasure, and I think they go hand in hand
Sadism
depending
and
on the individual. Yeah, depending on the individual. I mean, you know, you don't just often in a lot of black women, you don't just pull their hair.
Well, I think that's an old stereotype.
But if she wearing a wig, you gonna pull that motherfucker out, bro.
I don't fuck with bitches who wear wigs.
Yeah, okay. Well, see, that's the difference, you know. So it's one of those things to understand in that there are boundaries in regards to who you are and who you're with in regards to that. That's I call them sessions. I call it's to me
it's a moment.
It is a moment, and let me say something to everybody that's watching, guys. Listen. Somebody chose your funky ass.
You know what I'm saying?
Literally. to give you moments of pleasure. Because sex should be a pleasurable thing, in my opinion. It should be pleasurable. And I'm not going to turn it down.
No one wants bad sex. Some people might want painful sex, but no one wants bad sex.
Right. No one ever embarks thinking that, this is going to
Let me have the worst sex possible.
So I can have the story to talk about. All my other situations
nobody want to do that shit.
And my sessions have been great. You know, now I want to have a bad session just to have the story to talk about. That's ridiculous. That's asinine. So no, you know, you have to change your thinking in regards to sex as being a bad thing, because I think society, America especially, like if you go to other cultures, you know, they're very big on sex as being a very beautiful thing. And I think it's just in America that it has become an ugly thing. And you know, unfortunately, a lot of us were touched at a young age, and we're dealing with that. You know what I mean?
Well, a lot of us are not dealing with it.
Right. And
we're
so
running from it.
What's their excuse, you know? Okay, so lust. Now that we have an understanding of love and sex and intimacy, let's get to lust so that way we can bring everything full circle.
Alrighty. Lust. Very strong sexual desire. Have a very strong sexual desire for someone. They're really skimping us on these definitions right now, baby. Feel a strong desire for something. So something or someone, desire. A passionate desire for something. So let's see. Of course, they're fucking with us there. So Merriam-Webster, lust, usually intense or unbridled sexual desire.
Lasciviousness.
An intense longing, craving, enthusiasm, eagerness, pleasure or delight, personal inclination, a wish. Okay, not bad.
Lust. You craves that from a movie Mandingo. You craves. It's funny.
There are many different films with that title.
Yeah, Mandingo? Yeah. Mandingo, the one I'm talking about is 1976 slave movie.
Well, we don't know how far back these movies go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They probably got flip books and shit from
I'm
back.
pretty sure.
So on a serious note, lust is a psychological force producing intense desire for something or circumstance while already having a significant amount of the desired object.
Stop before we even go on. Goddamn, Wiki is on it right now. Lust is a psychological force. That sounds like the Darth Vader. It's a psychological force producing intense desire.
It's intent.
It is.
It comes with a lot of intent.
It is, boy. And I wish I could bottle lust. I watch, you know, when I used to, in my last years of going into the club, like I'm not a club person at all anymore.
Likewise.
But the years that I was there, I learned a lot. I would just watch the look that men and women would have for each other on the floor or across the room.
And they talking and not even saying nothing.
Man, it's so powerful. Can you imagine bottling that? I'm sorry, I had to say that because I
agree.
He encapsulated it. Whoever it was.
Whoever that wrote that, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'll get at another once over and continue.
Yes, please.
Lust is a psychological force producing intense desire for something or circumstance while already having a significant amount of the desired object. Lust can take any form, such as the lust for sexuality, money, or power. Excuse me. It can take such mundane forms as the lust for food, as distinct from the need for food or lust for redolence. When one is lusting for a particular smell that brings back memories, it is similar to, but distinguished from, passion, and that passion propels individuals to achieve benevolent goals, while lust does not.
True.
So lust is more on the side of greed.
Yes. Gluttony. I lust her.
Gotta have it.
Gotta have her.
Regardless of, so that's saying it's more whimsical, more reckless.
No. And it is actually one of the 7 deadly sins. It is considered one of the 7 deadly sins because, you could be passionate about something, right? Yeah. You're passionate about music and your career and what you want to help people and help the community, and I'm the same way. But lust is, like you said, reckless and gluttony is.
That means nothing's gonna get in your way. You're gonna knock a baby stroller over trying to get to it.
The 2 angels that lusted. That were lusted by the people in Sodom. That was a very big story that stuck out to me. It's like, man, they were blinded, still looking for him. Yeah. Them angels must have been, man, they must have been like the top-notch models of that time, boy.
You know what I'm saying?
Woo!
So
that was deep.
No, I like that.
That was deep, man, because I think a lot of times people, they mistake it. I'm glad they they differentiated passion and lust, because a lot of times people think that they're passionate about someone.
They're
when
similar,
really
but
they're
the
just-
end, they're similar, but the intent is different.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, all you guys out there listening, I know some of y'all have had some situations where you lusted someone and you had the tremendous passion. Just write on in. Just write on in. Let's go. Let's make this interactive, because if you're waiting for Antonio and I to spill the beans on all of our sexual situations, you're gonna get a little something. You're gonna get just the tip. You're not getting the whole shebang. So as we're talking, we are sharing, but this forum is for you. It's for you to understand the difference. Maybe you're in a relationship right now where you're caught up in the rapture of you, like
Caught up in the rapture.
yeah, like Anita Baker said, or you're lusting that person, or you're in a very bad toxic relationship, but the sex is the best part of it. What about people who don't have a strong sexual relationship and they've been together for a while? What do you think about that?
That gets into the other side of love, man, which is just that attachment.
Mm.
And they have a deep desire and need for that person in order for them to continue on in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that person more than likely gives them purpose.
Mm.
You know, just a reason to even wake up.
Mm-hmm. But do you think, because I firmly, look, when people are talking with me and they're asking my opinion on stuff, and like I had a friend, that person was in a relationship for about a year. And I always ask, I'm like, well, how's the sex between y'all? That's always what I ask first. And people go like, well, this is more than just sexual. Well, if you're in a relationship with someone that you consider as an intimate relationship,
has to be important.
Sex is very important.
It's prominent.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's so when's the last time y'all had sex? Oh, it's been 2 weeks. No, y'all got a friendship. Y'all don't have a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship.
Right.
That's done. Somewhere along the line, you lost track
you're
of
not
that.
fully exposing yourselves to one another.
Not at all.
Or submitting yourselves to one another.
Okay, so Lady Muse said, first of all, we got to stop demonizing girls for what we praise boys for as a community. Okay, let's be more descriptive
What
of
were
that.
we talking about?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
As far as what?
I'm pretty sure she's talking about sex, but be a little bit more descriptive, Lay, and you're in what.
Please clarify. I don't want to comment
yeah.
on that without.
Yeah, but I kind of understand what you're saying, but. One of the things that I've always said is that a man cannot be a dog unless he has a place to bury his bone. So you know,
That's very old school.
It's very old school, but you know, it's like for a lot of times. Listen, and I'm gonna. Okay, she said, laughing my ass off. Yes, sex, absolutely sex. Okay, all right. So listen, people who demonize girls nowadays don't know the world.
Well, they're also. They're not demonizing women for sex. I think it goes into the reality that's associated with it.
Mm-hmm.
A woman can show up somewhere half naked and say that she's doing it because she really just wanted to get some French fries right now.
Yeah.
And then she gets to point at the nigga and call him
Misogynist.
an incel and all kind of XYZ
For noticing and
because he
acknowledging.
noticed that her titties is fat right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that is mostly. I think the world is far beyond the demonizing women for sex. I don't think it's about the sex. It's about the look and pretend. The same way we have to pretend like they, them, and all of that bullshit.
Yeah.
We also have to pretend like this bitch don't have her ass out right now.
Right.
I think that is what people are upset about.
Yeah, and I agree to the extent of, hey, Daph, what's up? To the extent of it, I think it always goes back to accountability because, listen, when you say, okay. There's no way in my right mind when I was young, okay, and I'm sorry to always use my experience, but it's all I know.
Your experience
pretty much.
is your reference point.
Yes. There's no way in my right mind going back and watching those porn movies that I would think that the world would be where it's at today, where I got personal friends of mine who make money showing their penis and or their breasts on, social media and on OnlyFans. And
I would do it, but I could barely keep up with making Instagram posts, man.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, that shit is hella work.
It's a lot of work. And I mean, they have to post all the time. And then they first off got to be comfortable in being able to do it. And then listening to the...
And you have to be able to translate your physical sexiness confidently.
Yeah.
Through the phone, through the camera, or
and
whatever.
listen, and even like I know women always say, "Well, I don't always feel sexy." Men are the same way. We don't always feel sexy. Some days we wake up.
Well, sexy is not something that most men are ever really concerned with for themselves.
That's true. That's true. But then again, today's generation is a little different.
Well, I mean, even them, they're still caught. They're just caught up in, well, this is $150 belt. They're not worried about if it makes them sexy. Bitches gonna see my $150 belt though. Yeah. That's I believe that's a huge difference between men and women.
Yeah. And with that being said, the one thing that I can attest to is seeing, especially in the Black community, there are more people who are more health conscious. I mean, yes, yeah, because when I was coming up in physical fitness and personal training and stuff like that, it was very few Black people. And now you see, there's still always more brothers than there are sisters, but there's this movement of people who, on Instagram, you're seeing them. They are a little bit more.
They just want to be balanced with their diets, balanced with their physical activity.
Yeah, and they just want to look. It's kind of like there's that one little meme where it goes around where the guy goes, I'm in the gym, I'm working out and everything. I just want to look good when I'm fucking naked.
You sound like Shaq.
It's really funny to hear that one because the guys are working out, they're doing this stuff. And so lust, when we go back to it, is what a lot of people fall into. And then the reason why I mentioned the relationship not having sex is because people fall out of lust, or they fall out of eros, which is the Latin root word of erotic, actually. Eros, erotic.
Well, there's no longer an actual sexual attachment or desire.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Boredom or people say wandering eyes are wandering eyes, but I believe scientifically speaking, there's cause and effect for everything.
Sound like the architect. That's
but maybe she got lazy or he got lazy.
Was it the architect?
Or the alchemist?
No. In the movie, the second Matrix, the Frenchman. But go ahead. Yeah.
But it's cause and effect for everything, man. Maybe just relationships cause people to become content, to become stagnant, to become lazy and with one another, and then people tend to think that they don't have to continue doing what it is that they did to keep what it is that they now have.
Right. So
it's a full-time job.
A guy or a girl meet each other at the gym. They get together, they stop working out.
They start going to the Burger King and shit. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of Netflix and chill type of situations where they're home getting fat. You know what I mean? Fat as hell. Yeah. So that connection that they established when they met each other disintegrates. Yeah. And so now this person that you're very comfortable with, you're not as attracted to as you were before.
Because you're not seeing who you remember.
Right. That initial spark that caused it. I used to see that all the time in LA, being in the gym, man. And, it's a meat market. You know what I'm saying? Look, Friday was the busiest night because everybody was in there Friday night getting ready for Saturday night. They party Thursday. They came in the gym. It all smelled like Hennessy in the steam rooms, and then everybody's getting ready for the whole weekend, wherever they're going, if they're going to Vegas or if they're just partying. So a lot of times when you're in a relationship, you have to question yourself. If you're in an intimate relationship, man and woman or whatever, you're a couple, 2 weeks go by, you're not having sex. That is a problem.
There is something unspoken is happening.
Absolutely.
At that point.
Absolutely. And a lot of times women always think, is there somebody else? And it's not that it's always someone else. It's just that the lines of communication are broken, and sometimes people are either too ashamed or don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. Yeah. Which is,
especially that one.
Yeah.
The not wanting to hurt the other person's feelings, That's because we're all naturally empathetic. So rather than the same reason why people tell white lies, it's the exact same fucking concept mentally that we process in those moments. And unfortunately for some people, that means nigga, you might get cheated on because you wasn't. You took 2 weeks or a month or however fucking long off from sex or or whatever it is that made you not the same to this person anymore, and now you guys' communication is off in general. And that's cause and effect. I don't think that anyone is at fault there. When there's when it can be broken down to a simple miscommunication, whatever it resulted in, it still boils down to the root of the problem, which was the miscommunication. So now you guys have a conversation to be had.
And I think people give themselves an excuse by saying that sex is base. It's a base thing, and they don't understand that is how
it's actually everything for
connects.
humans.
Yeah, that's how they truly separate relationship. First off, that relationship.
That's how a motherfucker can decide. Oh shit, let me pick this car up off my woman. Or the woman, let me lift this heavy ass tree up off my dude. That don't just come from because y'all been watching Netflix and cuddling, and maybe y'all shared a few meals. Like nigga, there has to be something that connects the spirit to where it says I can draw strength from that. I can draw desire from that at any given time because this person, I'm there with them. There's actual balance between you guys.
Yeah, because when you're having sex, you think about it, you're sharing bodily fluids, you're sharing a spiritual connection. A lot of people in the church now believe that soul ties is very big.
It is.
She said, y'all better talk about Sigmund Freud tonight, too. Yeah, well, you know what? Listen, there's a lot about Sigmund Freud. I mean, that brother, man.
Yeah.
But we'll get into it just a bit, Lady Muse, for people who are expecting that. But when you're looking at that connection that's being made, soul ties or whatever you're looking at it, that's very true. You can't trivialize sex and it's like, oh, it's just sex. You hear that sometimes in conversation. It's just sex. And it's like, no, it's not just sex.
It's not just sex.
It's not.
That's why you get insulted. People even in one night stands, the room to be insulted by the other person is just like that. The line that you can cross. You get up and, wow, were you leaving that fast? Or, you know what I'm saying? Little shit like that. And it's like, well, goddamn, I thought we was in this moment together.
Yes.
At the very least, in this moment together, let's share it to its full potential. Yeah. They don't say that out loud, but that's what the fuck they mean.
Well, a lot of it is not communicated because I think that's society's fault. I think the trivialization of sex comes from...
monetization.
And the monetization of it absolutely comes from...
The monetization, the
desensitization. Yeah, absolutely. To trivialize it and make it, I always go back in my day, but back in my day, you hear a R&B song, it was called Making Love. I don't even hear that anymore.
I don't think I've heard that.
You don't hear people say, oh, let's make love.
I haven't heard that from women in my life in the last 10 years or so. In the last 10 years or so, I haven't heard a woman in dating or anything.
Just all gymnastics and sexual escapades nowadays.
Yeah.
Whimsicality. I mean,
I've taken my time and talk, and I guess we'll talk about this tonight too. But people don't know how to have sex.
Right. I agree.
They think they do.
I agree.
But just like people think that they know how to effectively communicate, they don't.
Well, you think that's based on the person or based on the knowledge that they
Society.
have? Society in a whole.
Society, their network, their background, what it is that they're consuming, on a general basis, the inability to be social. We're still empathetic creatures, but we're hardly social creatures. We're all detached from the baseline of social interaction, which is, converse a bit, speak to one another, acknowledge one another,
right? Stimulate each other mentally.
That's not something that we do anymore.
DJ Brick City put a little sign up, no doubt. Yeah, I mean, it's serious, man. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
It's a serious thing that I think, I think a lot of it is from the content that people take in, the music lately, imagery. I think in all relationships, there's a lack of communication. So people aren't honest. I think the average person that's in a relationship is just happy to have somebody, even if they don't really need to be with that person.
Well, because they don't. We typically don't have much else in this fucking. Our time is not even ours. Our time is not even ours. The commute to and from work, the 8-hour work day, 40-hour work week. Maybe you get 2 days on the weekend. Typically, that's just the general breakdown for this economy, and when that's the reality, those few moments that you do have to yourself outside of chores and cooking and errands and taking care of family and friends, it is nice to have somebody.
I guess.
And a lot of people become desperate for that.
Yeah, man, because they were taught that? They feel like that's what it's supposed to be? Man, we're at the next hour. Guys, whoa, wait a minute. It didn't cut off.
Humans are not supposed to be alone. And no, it didn't.
Okay, guys, so we're not disconnected tonight.
Well, you know what? They did just do that Instagram update with that status bullshit. So maybe they finally updated your account.
Cool. Hopefully, I'm not going to speak too soon, but we're gonna keep moving. But you know what? Before we go into this next hour, we have to do we have to do our plugs, guys. Hopefully, you're enjoying this conversation. Let's get you guys to write in some stuff, man, or you want to talk,
get involved.
Man.
Talk to us about coochies and you know what I'm saying?
We're talking about sex. Like, y'all knew this show was going to be hot. Y'all sitting there learning all the information, but you're not.
It's a little bit scholarly, but at the same time, have fun.
Yeah, let's get down and dirty in this next hour.
Ask some questions or offer some offer some input, whatever.
Yeah. We don't care how off color it is, too. You want to go like it's.
This is not a children's show.
No, Luke Campbell, Uncle Luke. Let's go that deep. Here we go.
All right, so really quick. Since today is an intimate day, a very intimate day, I'll lower my voice a bit because I want everyone to pay attention and hang on every single word of mine. If you want to reach us on Instagram, you feel me? You can find us on Instagram at CMCT_show. Also, you can find us on Facebook at CMCT Show. We also have a YouTube that we're badgering to migrate to.
Yeah.
And that YouTube page or channel is at CMCT_show. You can find us there live on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Please go there. Subscribe, like and share. So that we can get the hell up off of Instagram. We'll probably still do tidbits on Instagram, but the goal is definitely to move our traffic over to YouTube so that we can properly monetize and get you guys, in the super chat over there, dropping nickels and dimes. You know what I'm saying? Help us out, baby. But you can also find us on Twitter, tackling whatever on Twitter at CMCT_show. You can also send us ideas, sponsorship opportunities, promotional opportunities, show ideas, concepts. Share your thoughts with us at our email at cmctshow@gmail.com. Again, that is cmctshow@gmail.com. Nextly, we're on TikTok. We even got a couple videos now. You know what I'm saying?
We're on TikTok.
Yeah, we got views on there. It's a few. I don't know how many, but they on there. You can find us on that TikTok at CMCT_show. Yeah, I said it like an old man. You can find us on that TikTok at CMCT_show. Nextly, and most importantly, in all of these announcements, in my personal opinion, we have a Linktree, guys. And if you go to linktree.com and scroll to the bottom of the page where these fucking idiots have moved their search box for some reason, you scroll down to the bottom and the search box is there, and you can type into that search box CMCT_show, and you'll find our Linktree, where we offer a cornucopia, if you will, of different services. It's really only 3, but you know, it's multiple. Whatever. The first thing that we're offering is a personalized video, 2 minutes for $20. If you would like us to motivate you, someone that you know, if you need positive reinforcement, affirmations, you know, something a little strange. I don't know. We might have to up the price or something, but you know, we can negotiate. All right? We can negotiate. So go ahead and, you know, you want a personal video made for yourself or someone who you think that needs it, go ahead and reach out to us. Our second option is a venting consultation, because we ain't therapists, we ain't psychiatrists, and we ain't psychologists. We say that because we ain't trying to get sued. But if you do pay for our services, this venting consultation, we will do our best to help you get through whatever it is that you're going through. We offer you the best guidance that we can, and the main focus is always to help you find a solution. And if you're not looking for a solution and you just need a listening ear, we're available for that as well. And that is $59 an hour up until December 31st. Where on the new year, we're going back to our normal price of $100 an hour. So if that is a service that interests you, go ahead and reach out. We do not mind. Last service, pre-recorded interview for $75. The interview will be about 20 minutes or shorter if you'd like. But the reason that it's pre-recorded is so that the post-production can be immaculate and 100% tailored to whatever your vision of that interview is. Because we want to help market and promote and present you the way that you want to be seen on the internet. So reach out to us. You can also tip us on there. You feel me? We got payment options, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, all of that silly shit. Turn these lights back blue. You know what I'm saying? Help us out. So lastly, my man's got an Instagram, you know what I'm saying? Some of you guys are live there right now. Mm-hmm. And that is at Darkon2000, DARKAN, the number 2000. He also has a Twitter. And that is at DarkonEnt, DARKANENT. My Instagram, some of you guys are here right now. Thank you for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. And my Instagram is at _dosage, DOSAGE. You can also find my music Instagram, and that is at _MA. I'm currently working with a new producer. You know, the last nigga catted off on me, so it's all good.
So Remo.
We just looking to make sure that the music production is quality before we go ahead and release it to you guys. So we might unfortunately missed the Christmas Eve release date, you know, but it is what it is. As long as the music is done well and it sounds as good as we want it to sound. So thank you all for paying attention to this slight intermission and commercial. I'd say it's about time to move on. Mm-hmm. Also, on all streaming platforms, go ahead and listen to some of my music at The Dosage. Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt. Great job, brother.
Yes, sir.
So let's get back to fucking. I mean, sex.
Yeah. That's what he said.
All right. So listen. Yes, sex has become trivialized in recent times. It's a throwaway.
The reality of it.
Yeah.
Not only trivialized, but minimalized. In interpersonal relationships and interactions.
Preach, brother, preach. So let's get out here with some of our people. Let's get you guys in the chat and in the comments. Put down 3 different things. I want you to put down your favorite slow jam. Okay,
if you got one.
If you got
this is a new age.
I know, right? Jeez. Well, no. What I've been seeing lately is there's been a resurgence of like all R&B classics.
Oh yeah, 70s and 80s shit is coming back.
Yeah, even the 90s they've been doing like Jodeci and stuff. Some of these young cats. So your favorite slow jam.
Favorite slow jam, aka your favorite song to fuck to.
Okay,
go ahead.
Yep. Your favorite nasty song.
Favorite nasty song.
Your favorite nasty song, and your favorite, if you have one, romantic song.
Favorite romantic song. Okay.
All right. So slow jam, which is not always romantic.
No.
Right? Okay. Nasty. Okay. and romantic. Those three different songs, because those are all songs that you can use for great sex. You see?
Correct.
Or lovemaking, if that's something that's ancient to you, but you're still willing to learn about it. We can school you guys a little bit about the difference between having sex and making love. What do you think the difference is?
Between having sex and making love.
Yes.
I think that having sex and even fucking are in the category of just being extremely lustful.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
no actual game plan or end goal. And I think that love making is more of a, I don't want to use cliches like deep connection, but it's more unspoken, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You guys are not even, you're not thinking about any of that which comes along with fucking and just having sex, you know, just because you're having sex or quickie or whatever. The love making it, you know, it's not even about taking your time, but you're really getting to enjoying each other. There's not really a rush, you know, even if it is fast paced, it's not a deliberate rush or, you know, looking to get whatever reaction out of the other person, any of that. It's just both of you are being your most honest selves in that moment, and you enjoy one another.
I like that phrase, being your most honest self, because I think a lot of times you can have sex and put on airs, or you can put on falsehoods, because you're doing what you think the other person expects of you. But if you're love making, or if you're making love, you're doing what's in the moment because that connection is genuine.
Correct.
Wow, very good on that. So, okay, out there, you guys who are listening, what type of person are you now? Are you a love maker or you a fucker? You having sex or you making love? Because I think that's questions we need to ask. You know I meet people sometimes when we talk and they go, well, I reserve making love for, you know, my spouse or for the person that I'm in a relationship with, you know, and this person is just, you know, we are having, you know, we're just getting our nut, you know. Right. You hear that. Now, do you think that's true for people who are naturally like myself? If I'm going to put time in a session, it's got to be worth it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Never been a quickie, because I think it's because I'm very deliberate about everything. I'm meticulous about everything already. So when it comes to something like that, I'm very attentive. Very attentive. Very what is a good word? Precise.
Okay. You're a pleaser. You like to please. Yeah.
I am naturally a pleaser.
And I think a lot of people don't know that about themselves. They don't know if they're pleasers.
Because they haven't taken the time to find out. Like I said earlier, most people don't know how to have sex. They think they do, but they don't.
He's always acted said love making is definitely on another level. Yes, it is. I think it's the most passionate people or the most creative people.
Yeah.
You know, a cat like me in my era, I was jacked up to learn about lovemaking from someone like Prince or cats of that. You know, you didn't listen to Michael Jackson to teach you nothing about, you know, like a lot of us. Obviously, you learn from listening to your friends and your family and stuff like that. In high school, you learn things, but all of those things most of the time are just all inaccurate because you're coming from someone who's exaggerating on a situation that they had. And you're like, oh, okay, well, I need to do this. I think porn has taken people to a place where now they're totally confused because, you know, you're watching that. A lot of guys are watching porn and they're thinking, oh, this is how it's supposed to be because, and I blame, listen, there's three different factors that I blame. I blame society, I blame the church, and I blame parents because none of them took the steps in this country to make sure that people are truly informed. You know, they didn't have those conversations either through shame or they just figured out that, oh, no one told me, so you got to figure it out on your own. There is a responsibility because these young people move on and become people in relationships.
Well, they become the people who are leading the world.
Yeah.
That's important.
Absolutely.
That means something.
And if they don't listen, we can talk about guys who are in music that's selling themselves out, or actors who sell themselves out to make money. That's something, that's a different situation. But we're talking about
just the general public.
Yes, people who may have a forum to speak and talk about certain things. And I think you're right about that. I think a lot of people don't know what that is to even have sex at all.
No, they don't.
And so
how did you learn?
Well, like I said, I lost my virginity at 9, and I don't even.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, that was like, okay, I didn't even know what I was doing.
That was the consensual.
Yeah, that was consensual. I mean, prior to that, it was rape.
Yeah.
But consent, it was. I mean, it wasn't really at 9. I knew she was Puerto Rican and
you know what I'm saying,
big breasted. And okay, that's nice, but
that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
It's like, all right, it's done. It's over with. My first true love, and I can't mention her name, but I've always been into women who were women.
Yeah.
Like shaped like a woman, built like a woman. And, she was someone who I had a very high affection for. And, we had sex. But her thing was just like, you don't touch me like the other boys touch me. And, I like I said, I was on that level of, I want to, if you watch Purple Rain, that's that, he got her leg up and he playing a leg like a guitar and running, and at my age, I knew I had more sexual knowledge than most guys at that age. So I knew what the clitoris was, I knew what all the different, the labia, all the, I knew the vagina in and out. So that was her thing. And, the hands, I got them in really quick. So that was about 14 when I knew, okay, yeah, And she was a Jehovah's Witness. So after our third time, she started feeling guilty. And she brought me a pamphlet. I was like, what's this pamphlet for? And one of the guys, I used to work at a bodega, and one of the guys was like, that pamphlet means that it's over, bro.
Basically.
He's like, that pamphlet means it's over. She's letting you know that, this is a way of saying that, what, it was fun while it lasted, but this ain't moving on anymore. So I was already jacked up in understanding, okay, that I was a pleaser and that I knew more than the average guy did, to the point where I would, in a lot of my escapades in the future, it was the clothes didn't even come off. I would this finger, and I was like, and they were like, oh, you ain't get in there? You ain't, no. Well, you didn't really have sex. Well, she was happy. She collapsed on me and it was like, really? And I ended up being that type of cat to share and teach other cats what to do when they were with girls at an early age. In my 20s, it was just a mess. That was pretty much it. So for me, sex was always about making love in a sense. I didn't, very early on, I knew I didn't want to be with girls that I didn't care about.
Yeah.
But then that was a time where, you didn't just have idle sex back in the day. I mean, I don't know what these kids are doing nowadays, man. But
everything.
Back then,
they're doing everything.
Yeah.
They are doing everything. For me, the way that I learned, man, I lost my virginity when I was 14. And my main focus was how can I maximize the amount of pleasure that I deliver? Because I didn't want to be weak. I don't want to be bad at anything that I do. I don't want to be weak at anything that I do.
Yeah.
So
that's a given, right?
Yeah, I was like, nigga, I got to get in these books. I got to get on this internet and ask, figure out these questions. I need to know how to touch. And, it opened me up to the world of, finding out about BDSM and finding out about OM and Kama Sutra, all of those different things, man. And, it just, it played out pretty well in my favor, you know what I'm saying? And,
but that's dangerous too, bro. Because the thing is
I've had some near fatal attractions, and the reason why I asked that question, so we don't lose scope here, is that something that people should take seriously?
Yeah,
Learning how to
Absolutely.
have sex. Because I personally think if people really knew how to have sex, they probably end up sticking,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
more with one person at a time. Or not that it matters, but I think that they would actually, when you're actually enjoying it, there's not much for you to go after, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I want to find that scripture. But that's why I said that the church has failed people, because instead of it being something that they discuss to help, you know, if you're encouraging people to get married and be monogamous and have these couples, then you should
important
empower
aspect
them.
of it is figuring out sex together.
And it's in scripture, because scripture says never withhold from your partner, at least they'll go out and find someone else.
Yeah.
It's written. And it's the number one thing that any Christian counselor will tell a couple, like, well, why y'all not having sex? Well, I don't think you, and it's like, what? Well, she don't, and it's like, no.
There ain't no reason for y'all to be in a relationship
That's part
together
of your job.
if sex is not important to you.
Yeah. So, let's see. Lady Muse said, a lady never kisses and tells. Some things should remain a mystery. No, that's not true. Open up. He's always acting. Love making comes before the fucking. A session with both is hot.
Yeah, you can always do both. I'm a both kind of person.
Yes, you can. It depends on the
Start
person
slow,
that you're with.
Yes. Go high, end low.
Yes, it depends on the person that you're with, because you know, listen, it is never anyone's job to teach you how to be good in bed. It is nobody's job to teach that.
It's a bit of a burden.
That is something that you have to take upon yourself to want to be. If you want to, it's like with anything else.
Just like you need to know how to be in a relationship, you need to know how to be a good partner.
Yes.
All of those things play into the same responsibility or realm of responsibility.
Yes, and I think the problem is it stems from people saying sex is not all that important. That's the biggest lie. That's a huge lie. Then why are you with this person? You don't
intend on pleasing this person and keeping them satisfied. And why are you there?
Then why are you there? Now it's different if you're in an accident or something, and you know, as
Patrice O'Neal says, you're in a fatal bicycle accident and you lose your pussy. If for some reason you lose your pussy in that fatal bicycle accident, what is it that you're gonna do to keep your man happy?
That takes me back to Broken Pussy on what was the name of that show? It's not Elite Issa Rae's show, Insecure. The first season where the girl Tony she says, I think my pussy's broken, and she goes and makes a rap called Broken Pussy. It's hilarious. It's the funniest shit ever. But a fatal bicycle accident and your pussy broken.
Fatal bicycle accident, you lose your pussy, you know what I'm saying, and a surgery, and now what is it that you'll do
to keep your partner? That's fair.
It's an interesting video. I urge everyone to watch it. Very interesting video.
She said, plus we have mouths, Antonio, so.
That's what he said. But you'll see, anybody interested, you should definitely go watch the video. Patrice O'Neal, bicycle accident or whatever. It's some shit like that.
Listen.
It's on YouTube.
Listen, you know, sex is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It really is. And I think, first off, I think more people need to have more of it.
I agree. I think it would calm the world down a little bit. These niggas are definitely tripping. You know what I'm saying? People are a little bit on the edge.
You know what? I wish, like when I was in LA, I remember when they embarked on the sex toy industry starting out. Mm-hmm. I wish I had money then to invest in that. Something. It's huge now. Sex toys are huge. All right?
They're coming out with something new, like whatever's supposed to be the top crazy thing. Yeah. Right now, I think it's like Tracy's dog or some shit like that.
The Rose?
The Tracy's dog superseded the Rose. The Rose has already been beat.
Wow. I'm just learning about the Rose. Yeah. Well, I never needed a Rose,
well,
but I get it.
It's nice to see.
Yeah. I bet.
It's nice to see.
So what's this Tracy Super Dog?
Tracy's dog.
Tracy's dog, and what is it?
It's basically got the rose at the top, and then the bottom of it is insertion or penetration, and it vibrates.
Don't like the word dog. Like, you know,
Well, yeah, honestly, I don't even know why the fuck they call it Tracy's dog, nigga, but, you know.
That's kind of...
It's a catchy name, I guess.
Yeah, if you don't know anything about me, there's two things that I think are way off limits to the point of death, and that's children and animals. I think if you're incorporating any of that in your sexual attitude or your sexual desires, you're a sick fuck and you need to go to hell.
And whoever them niggas is that's out there funding them child sex toys for pedophiles to stop their urge from fucking with kids, kill yourselves too.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely. Absolutely. So, you know, that stuff is horrible.
Very fucking weird.
But what do you feel about like being in a relationship, right? Because there's probably people listening right now, they're in a relationship, and because they were alone and they found someone, they're compromising who they really are sexually. So they're compromising just to have somebody. They're not being fulfilled, and they're settling with the people that they're with. What do you feel about that?
I think.
Yeah. What do you think?
If they choose to compromise, that's okay. If you've decided that this person is worth that trouble, but mean it, as with anything else.
Okay.
You don't get to complain.
Okay.
Mean it.
See, I'm a little different on that. I firmly believe that there's a point where the explosion will happen.
So I agree with that. So that's why I said,
yeah.
If you're it's not really, you didn't really make the compromise if you didn't mean it.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%.
You know, now if you didn't mean it, or if you never made the compromise to begin with, is it worth even having the conversation with that person? Because there are people who are just not, they're not sexual. Or not hypersexual, or I guess we would classify it. Well, we would classify it as hypersexual, but what is hypersexuality really, right? Conceptually, but if you're someone who really enjoys sex and for whatever reason you ended up with someone who sex is not a priority to them, what have you done if your goal is really to be with this person, right? What have you done to maybe, what the fuck do they call it? Sway the balance, right? If you've done your due diligence, right, offered everything that you could, and this person is still that way, then you also need to be brave enough to sit down and say, hey, this is what it is. This portion of the relationship is not enough for me. Are we adult enough, or are you adult enough to allow me to explore other options in this area?
But that's where I think falling in love is part of the problem, because you're not being practical and you're not being wise.
That's why I said adult enough.
Well, yeah, I agree.
When I say adult, I'm assuming absolute maturity.
Yeah, to where you have that opportunity to be able to be transparent and to speak. And I think a lot of you guys out there get yourselves in trouble. You get very
possessive.
Yeah, because the thing is like, okay, I'm not giving sex to this person, but they're not supposed to get it from nowhere else. And that's selfish. That's very selfish. But we love each other. No,
you're not. You're not. You're clearly not in action.
Right, because we said that
this person the way that you're supposed to.
We said that love is sacrifice, and part of that sacrifice is making sure that person's
needs are
met all once. Because a lot of times the needs in a relationship is the need to connect with each other, but the wants is I want sex more than what you're capable of giving me, right? So the need is I need to be able, because if you have a sick spouse or, someone gets injured or something like that, we understand that. But if there's
two healthy human beings.
And that's the thing. And a lot of times when I hear these conversations, I say, well, I always throw sex. I'm like, when's the last time y'all had sex? Oh, it's been a month. Okay, this relationship is pretty much over.
Almost over. If you guys haven't even acknowledged that that's what's going on.
Yeah. Two good-looking people, healthy, they both going to the gym.
Insane.
It's insane. Like, what is it that y'all eating that's turning y'all libido off? And maybe, is this, what's going on?
More consumption in general.
What do you think about?
What are you watching, eating, listening to?
What do you think about what do you think about when people decide, well, we're just going to be celibate in a relationship? I love that laugh because
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Number one, how can you be celibate if you're already,
Right.
married or
Right.
you're together, you've already had sex?
Right. You didn't meet each other that way. Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense.
Right.
That's the same as someone getting lazy and not doing what they were initially doing when they started the relationship.
Right. And when you hear that, to me, what it speaks is that, okay, we want to see that there's more to us than just sex. But that's what the relationship should be
So go
about.
fly somewhere and have sex in a nigga in a new country. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with people, man?
I always say a good indicator of whether you need to be with that person or not is when you take a road trip, because you have nowhere to go for like several hours. And you're in the car and you're talking, and then you realize, because well, then some people shut it off and they next thing you know, she's or while she's driving, or they pull off, and But when you're trapped in a car, and you're listening to each other's music taste, and you're talking,
It's very intimate.
It's very intimate. And then you realize, okay, this is a situation that's based, and this has to happen early. It can't be. I think a lot of times
Don't do the wait 10 years to find out that y'all don't really fuck with each other.
Yeah, which is why I think that whole celibacy thing is an issue, because
It'll be very telling.
Huge because then listen, in your intimate time, you had mentioned previously in the show earlier tonight that a lot of people don't have time, right? So here it is, you're working, you're pulling maybe 8 hours, maybe 10 or 12. If you're in an entertainment game, you're on set all day.
You should be releasing all of yourselves to one another.
Absolutely, because that's the one moment where you can connect like that. And the longer you push it off, when it happens, there's going to be discrepancies in who you are towards each other, because you may be distant or something like that. You may not be 100%, because
you begin to forget how to be yourself too.
Yeah. I think you said it best with that definition, when it's like people can be who they are. Yeah. It's a very wild thing, and I think people get in trouble when they trivialize it. So stop trivializing sex. Stop it. Okay. Lady Muse said, my mother definitely watches y'all, so I'm going to keep it cute. Now, we needed you
all
to go
the comments
all in.
Don't save, so
yeah, we needed you to go
enjoy
all
yourself.
In. Yeah, no doubt. So, with the last almost 30 minutes left, how can we help people out who are watching us that may be a little, like, we're very transparent, we're sitting here talking about sex and love and lust and all that stuff, and how can we help people out with helping them to understand that sex is not a bad thing? Because I know we were all raised differently. Some people are a little bit more exhibitionist than others. Some people are more private than others. How do we help people understand that sex is a beautiful thing, and that they need to demand of themselves to explore it in a way that's safe, and a way that will help them to have a strong founding relationship, and maybe have a little of the stigma taken off that they may have on themselves?
Well, number one, I think that people have to be honest with themselves.
Okay.
Are you good at sex?
Mm-hmm.
Are you? Mm-hmm. You don't have to ask your partner or none of that, but really, truly ask yourself, am I good at sex? Am I enjoying sex as much, or at the highest level that I can when I am having it? And if you're honest with yourself, more than likely the answer is going to be no. Mm-hmm. Or do I think that there's more that I could enjoy with sex? And then when you have the answer to that, go study. There is a shit ton of study material. I'll tell you right now, believe it or not, X Videos has an education section. Nigga, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and go pull up some of them free sex ed videos where they're teaching you more about the body, or teaching you about the body or the genitalia.
Erogenous zone, stuff like that.
Really breaking down how to, manipulate and interact with properly. So again, so that you can get the maximum amount of pleasure out of these moments that you can, because I think that's important. It's life changing.
Yeah, you have to know your partner as well.
Yeah.
Some people are with partners who love pleasing, and I used to see a lot of times on a lot of these talk shows where the guys would get on there and be like, you know, I get a lot of sex, but I want her to be the one to instigate the sex. And it's like, first off, you have to know that it's not always going to be what you want.
Nope.
And that's part of what you have to understand. If you get with someone, I say it this way. A lot of people like, we get together, we don't argue. It's a great relationship, but we don't have any sex. Is it worse to get together with someone that you don't argue with and you don't have any sex, or is it worse to get with someone that you have great sex with and you're arguing?
I'd rather have great sex and argue.
You know, well, because my point in why I'm saying that is because a lot of times people are getting together with people that they're not compatible with. Now, there's a thing that I've had several of my male friends. They're highly endowed, and they get with women where they're attracted to the women are attracted to them. These guys are, you know, they got these elephant trunks, and then the sex stops, and the communication is not there on why it stopped. And it's like, well, let's first off, you got to be transparent and upfront first. Bro, you're walking around with something that a lot of guys ain't walking around with.
Right.
You know, a woman's not going to cater to your ego and like, you're hurting me. You know what I'm saying? She's going to be like, all right, well, I'm just going to cut it off because the mileage on this thing, you know, I'm not going to hurt myself. You know what I'm saying? But you got a lot of great qualities. You have to be astute in understanding that. Action speaks louder than words. So where I think people are making a mistake is they're getting together with someone just because they're happy to have someone, but they're not looking at the long-term relevance of that relationship. You know what I mean? And so that also goes back to what you're saying about knowing how to actually be great in bed, knowing what it is to be able to have great sex.
Because there are some general maneuvers.
Mm-hmm.
There are general maneuvers, and I'm speaking for men.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really say what women should, or, you know, what women need to be educating one another as well. The same way, you know, we all share information on a lot of different things, but all of a sudden sex is taboo.
Yeah, that's the problem to me.
You know, men, there are some very basic maneuvers, basic knowledge. Let me tell you something. The left side, from your perspective, between her legs, that is the most effective area to focus on. The left side of the vagina. That's all I'm just saying. I'm gonna share that with y'all.
Easy to remember because as for men, our penis and our testicles hang to the left. So if you remember her
There
left,
you go.
your left.
The left is also the position of honor. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's her right, your left. But nigga, the left is a position of honor. You know, use it responsibly.
Right.
You feel me? But there's a shit ton of general maneuvers that the average person really just doesn't know about the opposite sex.
Well, listen. You mentioned, and I'll tell you. When I went to the library, there was 3 things that I read on. I read on at that time I was going to a high school, so I had to make sure I understood law. I read on religion, and I read on sex, and that's where I was introduced to the Kama Sutra. And I think if you want to, there's 2 books actually. It's an old ass book. It's in the 70s that I had read. I pulled it out of the library. You can go to the library and get it. And it's called The Art of Lovemaking. That's one. And then the second one is the Kama Sutra. I think that in that culture, the Kama Sutra is given into the East Asian culture.
I was about to say, you're talking about over in India.
Yes, it's given to as a gift to young girls and young boys. And I think that's something that you guys can start with today. Just go and get
read
it.
a little bit.
And yeah, it's very, man, listen, he gave you guys the X videos, you know, that's
You know what I'm
great
saying?
for
They
you
got
guys
the
who don't
educational
like to
section,
read.
yeah.
But I was very learned on this stuff. You know, my mom had a whole bunch of books around the house on alcoholism and sex and stuff like that. Later music was talking about Sigmund Freud. You know, I can't give him too much credit because he attributed everything to childhood, and there's a point where you do grow up. You know what I mean? You know.
So that's.
Let's go.
How much time we got?
Yeah, we got time. We got 20 minutes left.
That kind of goes into what I was saying, or excuse me, the male-female interaction in a relationship is you grow up together. At the point that you guys meet one another and start dating, doing whatever you're doing together, you're growing up together from that point on until you either die or separate.
Separate, yes.
So in that time that you guys spend together, whatever it was that you both knew when you met, everything from there is like a childhood of sorts. You grow up together, you learn more about one another, more about yourselves based on your interaction with the other person. I don't think he was too far off.
No.
In that,
no, not
everything
at all.
does stem from what you experience in your childhood.
Yeah.
Will you experience more and new things that have nothing to do with your family and your relatives once you get out in the world on your own? Sure. But even how you react to these new things do still stem back to what it was that you experienced growing up.
Yeah, Freud and Jung, Jung, went back and forth a lot in regards to sexuality. At the 60s, you had Kinsey, who was a pervert in the highest level. The Kinsey report was fabricated, and he didn't really interview a lot of people. But Freud and Jung were the first to. And there's actually a good film out too about these two. Keira Knightley is this girl who was abused by her dad, and they both have sex with her, and both men are married, and it's crazy. But Michael Fassbender and somebody else is Keira Knightley, Michael Fassbender. I can't remember the other guy, but anyway. That's something to look at. We don't have enough time in the show to talk about Freud in depth, but I did read a lot about him. And,
Likewise.
And you do learn that a lot of things are instituted from your childhood as far as
because you
how
receive
do
so
sex.
much information that a lot of your habits become unconscious. They become subconscious.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely,
just from watching how your parents interact.
Yeah, or even the
that would
attraction
dictate,
that you have.
Yeah, it'll dictate a lot of how you interact with others going out into the world.
So with that respect, you guys, what you have to keep in mind is that the knowledge is very important.
It is,
and it's not just watching porn, as you know.
Don't just watch porn. Porn is great, you know what I'm saying. All of that. However, get on something like X videos. I believe Pornhub also has an educational section. You know what I'm saying, and they really are breaking down. They showing you how to, you know what I'm saying. If you should be a master with your hands, as an adult male. Why? Because the same as it used to be something that you showed up to a man's house and taking responsibility for his daughter. If you're not someone who is strictly monogamous, or even if you are, the moment that you have a woman in your hands, to me, it is your responsibility to deliver, undeniable pleasure.
Yeah. Well, that's.
But you got to know what you're doing.
Well, yeah.
So it's okay to admit, maybe I'm not the best at this. Maybe I'm not getting the desired results.
A lot of guys.
How can I amplify this?
A lot of them are egos, man.
Yeah, kill the ego.
They want their numbers. They want their
kill the ego, because you can enhance it. You get a different kind of spine control, a different kind of spiritual control, and you become more balanced as a man too, I believe.
Yeah, and we can't put it all on the men, because women nowadays, the men that quote unquote so-called men out there,
all the niggas that they're having kids with, the idiots,
they're not as astute in knowing the.
Well, no, yeah, so that's why I say, I can't tell women exactly, this is the trick to it, but to both sides, educate yourself. Trust me, it's okay to admit you're not good at sex. The average person is just they're not good at all.
They just do what's necessary to.
Well, they do what they want to in that moment, which is primal. Let's insert. You know what I'm saying? And
go until it's over.
And whatever it is, I think what is the average is like less than 3 minutes or some shit, isn't it?
Probably less than that.
Yeah, let me pull that up real quick.
All right, he's giving y'all some facts here. He's going into statistics. How long does the average... some of y'all out there lying, talk about some, I go for hours.
The average duration of vaginal sex is 3 to 7 minutes.
That was in 2005. Let's see if we can find something more 2019, what did they say? 2021, how long should it last? That's the most recent.
Most recent by Priority Men's Medical Center. Come on, just give us something quick. Average length of sex is difficult to determine. Come on, my nigga.
That's a lie.
Just give us a
You got the guy.
Yeah, they got my nigga stressed out.
Okay, all right, that's it right there.
Did I miss it? Where is it?
The same study determined that less than 3 minutes may warrant clinical concern.
Well, anything over 10 minutes was generally too
What?
long.
Oh, this
I
trash.
that's unfortunate.
That's trash.
More than 10 minutes is, I don't think that's too long, but it is what it is. This is just scientifically speaking, I guess.
Yeah,
we'll stick with that. But the point being, less than 3 minutes may warrant clinical concern, and anything over 10 minutes is generally too long. I'm assuming they're going based off of female preference, male preference, and
obviously,
there's a lot going on in there. But average time to achieve orgasm was around 13 and a half minutes, a period with
for a woman.
Oh, that's for a woman. Yeah, I didn't know. Okay, so women. A period which might have fallen under too long under the 2008 blah blah blah. Point being, nigga, the shit. It's not this long thing that you got to commit to because you watched a 30 or 45 minute sex, porn tape, or whatever.
I've been on those sets. Let me tell you something. Yeah. It takes all day.
It takes all day for them to film that shit.
Yes.
What looks like 45 minutes is an entire excursion, nigga.
Yeah.
But point being, to that, take your time to learn, so that you guys can all actually enjoy those sessions. I guarantee you, nigga, you might stop soul searching.
You can do it together. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And if
kill. That's what I was saying about the taboo.
Mm-hmm.
Kill that between each other.
Yeah.
Maybe start by sitting down and watching porn like y'all watch the fucking news or something.
Yeah.
Man.
And communicate with each other. Yeah. Is this something that turns you on? Is it because some women, you see them go to strip clubs, man. Mm-hmm. And
just the sensuality of that alone is a lot for them.
Hey, I'm not one to judge anybody and what they got going on. Like I said, if there's no animals and kids, hey, you want to be in a swing and get whipped, that's on you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's on. I used to live down the street from a dungeon. Never got a chance to get out and go and check it out. But people were like, there's a dungeon down the street. I had a friend, he was a dom. Dom. That's the male position in a BDSM relationship. He was the dom, and he was the one that told me, this. I was like, oh, okay, so that lets me know what you all about. Yeah. And he was like, oh, I have no problem letting people know I'm a dom.
He turned his hat backwards.
He sure did, actually, yeah. He was very proud of it.
Fucking funny.
So the thing is that part of the issue that can be rectified if you're in a sexless, Christian is laughing his ass off. If you're in he said, okay, wait a minute, hold on. He said, I'm a professional in that aspect. Oh, so you're a sex king, Christian? Okay, yeah, all right.
You probably got business to take care of. You know what I'm saying?
So listen, if you're in a relationship and that relationship is important to you, because a lot of times people in relationships and they're not really important. It's just something to do.
Yeah,
it's
a placeholder.
Which to me is an issue because every relationship you are in life requires an amount of energy and time from you.
Correct.
And that's why anytime I was in a sexless relationship, it was becoming sexless, I would get up and walk out and I would be done with it because I was just like,
that's not what you want.
Yeah, what's my point of being with you if I can't, because I'm very passionate by nature.
It's where do I fit in this scenario?
Literally.
And, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Or, but where do you fit in that scenario? Where do you see yourself in that interaction? And
mm-hmm.
For a lot of us, let me tell you, love, just like love don't pay the bills, mm-hmm. nigga. I don't know a way to make it rhyme or make it profound, but a sexless interpersonal relationship, mm-hmm. intimate relationship between a man and a woman, that shit is not healthy. Mm-hmm. And it ain't worth your fucking time. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. If you guys haven't figured out how to get that, you know what I'm saying, get that engine rolling, nigga, then don't waste your time with it.
Yeah,
There's something else for you.
Yeah, and stop using sex as a weapon. That's a very old phrase.
Yeah.
But the problem with using
because
sex
that this person cares about you,
mm-hmm.
you're gonna use it as leverage.
Yeah, that's horrible.
That's
evil. Horrible. It's very evil. It's dark. And I've seen even people in the church use that. Well, no, he didn't do right, so he ain't getting none. Who are you to do that to someone? To deprive them of their desire to want to be with you on an intimate level.
That's the same as depriving someone of food, starving them. It's a type of torture. Definitively, it is a type of torture.
Yeah. And you guys have got to stop falling for that.
Men and women.
Yeah.
It does happen both ways.
It does. It does. And like I said, you cannot, it is not your job to groom somebody into being this sexual thing that you want them to be, unless you have a relationship.
If you have the patience and you guys are learning together and that's what you've agreed on, sure.
There's some relationships are based on that. Some people want to be, I'm being taught,
Yeah. Well, because they enjoy being led by the other person. There's nothing wrong with that.
People walking down the street.
Well, I don't even mean that. Yeah, you talking about some BDSM shit, but I'm saying, interpersonally, just receiving knowledge from the other person, receiving guidance from the other person, it feels safe to them.
Yeah.
It gives them a reason. We're kind of backtracking or circling back around to what we were talking about earlier, but it gives this person a reason to get up and care about you and enjoying your presence and the time that you've invested in them. Those things matter. And the moment that you guys start to weaponize
sex,
human empathy and human psychology against one another, now you're getting into torture.
Yeah.
You're getting into evil, into selfishness, deep level of selfishness, man. And if that is your way of coping or maintaining balance in a relationship, you're not ready for one.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I just think that if you're talking with your friends and you're hearing that type of behavior from your friends, man, just be honest with them and say, yo, bro, like, a lot of times I'm quick to always say it wouldn't be me. It wouldn't be me. I have no desire to be caught up in that type of drama. And I think a lot of you, you get with someone and you be like, well, I can change them. And you end up getting fooled by thinking that that's something that's possible. But in the end, you're the one with egg on your face.
Correct.
Because people are going to do what people are going to do. And, the thing is some of my final words, like I said, I go back to the Purple Rain tour, and Wendy and Lisa said, poor computer, you need to be reprogrammed. You must learn that love and lust, they both have 4 letters, but they're entirely different words.
Entirely different words, similar passion, but the intention is different, is all. Intention is different. And they do intermingle. They do mix. And it's not a bad thing. It's just when it comes down to what is your overall intent with this other person and their time, their existence, your own time, your existence. That matters.
All right. Wow. This show flew by.
Yes, it did. It was very fast. We ain't even tired yet.
No,
but we ain't about to be one of these 4-hour podcast ass niggas, man. We have to get on up out of here. But,
not at all.
Real quick, go ahead and plug our good sponsor one more again. Thank you for the merch, man. And we definitely will be wearing these around town.
Absolutely.
Plugging our people.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the love. And again, you guys see it in my comment section. Go ahead and support Dope by Nicole at Dope by Nicole. You can also go to her website at www.dopebynicole.com.
Yes. I'm gonna be sporting this.
At a grocery store.
Oh, all over.
My nigga about to go grab an
all
ice
over.
cream.
Well, I actually picked some. I hadn't had ice cream in a while, and I picked some up. Oh, and don't forget, guys, there are a lot of foods too that you. And listen, there's 2 movies you need to watch. Yes, aphrodisiacs. 2 movies you need to watch. I'm a movie buff, and one of the movies that I always give to cats, guy and girl. It's one of the movies.
Castaway.
It's called
Castaway.
No. No, I'm talking about sex. So
yeah.
No. 9.5 weeks. If you've never seen it, Is that movie is tremendous. That movie messed my head up in the '80s, and I did a lot of things in that movie.
Well, you know.
And
You said he was human, goddammit. Didn't you hear him?
and Basic Instinct in regards to the psychological aspect of the mind game that we can play with each other when it comes to that stuff. I got that poster in Image Max on the wall. It's one of my favorite films of all time. But 9.5 weeks, I put a lot of cats on that film. Jay-Z even wrote a rap. One of his verses was based on 9.5 weeks. So watch that movie. It starred Kim Basinger and Mickey Rourke, and in Basic Instinct was Michael Douglas. Oh, he was a beast.
I like
in
Michael
that.
Douglas
He
too,
was a
man.
beast in that. Oh yeah, they were beasts in
damn.
that. They were beasts in that. It's just unfortunate we didn't have black guys in that time doing the stuff that we can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But shit, we had Prince. So, with that being said,
Educate yourselves on your sex lives so that you can have an easier journey.
yeah, your money may be
And
bad,
this-
but the sex game be on
Yeah,
point.
you know what I'm saying? Enjoy, and you know, wrap it up, baby.
Be safe.
Be very safe, man.
Yeah.
Educate yourselves and take care of one another. There's nothing wrong with finding somebody that you want to please and meaning it, you know, and make sure that they learn how to please you as well. So,
Got it.
well, y'all niggas have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. And there's so much more that's going to branch off from this fucking episode, man, because we never have enough time. But
We'll be back Thursday night, our same time, 8 p.m.
yes, sir.
Eastern and 5 p.m. on the West Coast. And we'll be talking about pop culture and what's going on. He hates that. And
I love keeping up with pop culture. I love it so much.
I bet there's going to be some good stuff happening this week. So
It actually has been a lot of interesting shit. I've been doing my homework
See?
throughout.
Okay.
This, you know, the weekend.
not so
and shit.
bad, then.
It's still trash. Because I don't like burdening myself with news. But
Me neither.
anyway,
Yeah.
again, y'all niggas go ahead and educate yourselves sexually because it is important. Pick up a dictionary and start getting a little more definitive. I'm gonna steal a phrase from my brother Sarah Sudin-Seti. He's a Black Power leader, and he says, "Arm yourself with knowledge." I'll skip the next sentence because it don't have nothing to do with this. But arm yourself with knowledge, education, or what is it? God damn it, I done forgot it. Arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast daily. Liberation through confrontation and African education. So whatever it is that you want to be liberated in or from, use education as your first apparatus. If you don't know what apparatus is, I'm saying tool, goddammit. Education is a tool to free you from so many things. And in the age of information, it only takes a few seconds. Y'all niggas Google everything except for the shit that will actually benefit you. So go ahead and use Google to your advantage.
Yeah.
Please yourself, please your partner. Love one another. Y'all niggas have a good night.
Have a good night, guys. Awesome.
Cool. Muscles on his lonely back. I say common fact. I've been on the grind so long. Y'all can never call me that. Please keep it short. I don't speak for all the rap. Nicole said, why we gotta be niggas? I don't want no parts of that. Why we gotta be niggas? Well, you know why. The beat got a birthday. I just make it special. If you came to wrestle, maybe we can do that. Chapman bring the dosage and show you where your shoes at. Exactly where the proof at. I ain't gotta prove stats. I don't need the hookup. I've been staying blue-black. Straight from where the news at. Life-size showdown. Story I survived. Made a my remote stamp. Painting what I wrote now. I imagine it. I'ma grope the canvas. Every stroke is passionate. Asking why he smashing shit. I'm just practicing so I can get it in when it's out. Ain't no accidents, for real. Absolutely. Please stop the BS, for real is on purpose, for real. Everything I do this for real. Every single time, I do this for real. It's all that I know. Please stop the BS, for real is on purpose, for real. Every single dude, I do this for real.